Sagittarius, welcome to your March 2017 Love Tarot reading. It's Rena here. So the big astrological news in the month of March that will affect you romantically is that Venus is retrograding on March 4th, and that will be at 13 Aries, going back into one of the later degrees, 26 or 28, I can't remember, of Pisces. So that's going to be activating your 5th and then your 4th houses. So the 5th house is the house of romance. Venus in that 5th house. So some of you may have recently met somebody, maybe in maybe in February at some. No, it could be in January, because that's when it transited through that house. So if you have met somebody, you may be reevaluating that relationship, because retrogrades tend to bring reevaluation. And it will also deal with your home. So it could be, maybe there's some kind of a conflict because maybe you're trying to deal with home matters. Some people may be trying to sell a home. They always recommend that, we don't make big ticket purchases during, and maybe even selling. I'm not sure about selling during Venus retrogrades. But if you've already, put a house on the market, you may be immersed in that, and maybe that is affecting your love life, because maybe you are going to, or if you've put money, towards a house, or you're trying to close on a house, you may be moving to another city, and you may just met somebody, and you're like, gosh, I just met this person, now I'm leaving, So just realize that this is a retrograde period, and so things tend to kind of get regurgitated. Oh, you know what? It could possibly be somebody from your past, too, that you had a relationship with. And it might be on the casual level, but you hear from that person and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind when I pull these cards, because you might see some connection there. And of course, this is a general reading. So we're just looking at themes more than just trying to pin everything down as being, exactly what's going to happen. And of course, you have free will. So don't abdicate your free will either. Okay. Whoa. I'm getting, I did Scorpios ahead of yours, and I got some pretty heavy cards too. You got the trifecta of heaviness, Sagittarius. I like to see when I post my videos, and then you see your ratings and see all these, like, the first rating is the thumbs down. That's always fun. I'm always tempted to disable my ratings, but I never do, because it's really, I don't want to resist. Whatever people feel, that's what they feel. One thing, I've always wanted to make a video about thumbing things down, because this is a yes-based universe. And when you thumb things down, you're voting against life, in a way. I don't know. I've thumbed down videos if I don't agree with the person's ideas. So I'm being kind of hypocritical. And I mean that overall. But I think sometimes people are a little bit too... I think they're a little bit too, quick on the draw there, because they don't happen to like it. It didn't please them. And really, if you think about it, you can learn from any situation in any reading. I like readers for a whole bunch of reasons, not just because, they tell me what I want to hear. There's other things to take into account. Wow. Interesting. Okay, well, this is obviously for a select few of you. I swear to God, I did not. I'm just, you see, well, you can't see, but I'm cutting these cards over and over again. Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. This doesn't happen much. So if you're somebody You know, if you don't, if you get like very sensitive to things that you perceive as negative, then just switch off the video. I do it all the time. If I don't like the way the reader is going, I don't, you know, put that in my consciousness. I just want to say that with the cards that I pick, I would love to always pick the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups, and all that stuff. But I didn't, did I? And I mean, it was just overwhelmingly in one direction. So if this doesn't seem like your reality, then there is no reason to watch it. If this seems like your reality, then you might want to listen to my take on it, because I always do try to put a positive spin on it. This is like really, this is really kind of hilarious, actually. I mean, this is like really hilarious. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, but let's just go into this. If this seems like this is what's been going on for you, then you might enjoy my take on it. So the overall theme is the Nine of Swords. So this is a card of anxiety. For Sagittarius, a lot of anxiety, and I'm a sun in Sagittarius myself. I have Mercury in Sagittarius, so I tell it like it is. And one of the things that really gets us anxious is if we feel that we have lost our freedom. Because I'm looking at I'm going to get this card up here. I'm looking at this card. And this is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is a card of feeling oppressed. And a feeling of oppression can occur for different reasons for different people. You know, why they feel that way. For Sagittarius, a lot of times, it's feeling that we do not have a say in what's happening to us. When we feel like we don't have autonomy, that is really something that affects us more than the average sign. So if you're with someone, and I did pick the Death card, so if it's a Scorpio, now a Scorpio could do that to you because, and you know, if there's somebody who has Scorpio in their chart and they're watching, I'm not putting down the sign of Scorpio. I'm saying the combination between Sagittarius and Scorpio, because Scorpio is a water sign. It's a fixed water sign, and just the two planets that control it, or you know, that rule it, Pluto and Mars, are about control, are about kind of a lot of warlike behavior, and Sagittarius doesn't do well with that type of energy. I'm not saying that all Scorpios and Sagittarians cannot have a relationship either. We're just talking about the archetypes or the themes of each sign. And but this is an interesting card because you see she's blindfolded. So there can be an element of your own refusal to see things as they are that is contributing to the situation. I would suspect that for some of you, there is some kind of cheating going around, and I did get this for Scorpio too, interestingly. There could be an air sign who is driving you nuts. An Aries, a Gemini, a Libra, an Aquarius. Which one of those signs would drive you nuts? Well, I was going to say Libra. No, because Libra is not, there's a more of a friendly angle. You know, Gemini is your opposition sign. And even though they're called complementary signs because they are opposing one another, I suppose that could happen. So maybe it's that. I don't know. And it may not even be an air sign. But there's that sense of, and it's on the mental level of feeling that angst, of feeling that sense of like not being able to like you're stuck for some reason. Okay? And what comes in is the Death card. So I think in a way this is good because it could say that this is going to happen. There's going to be transition, you know. This too shall pass. But maybe the angst on your part is because you're trying to resist the change. Maybe you think, oh my God, I want it to still be there, and it's not happening. And yeah, I guess I could see that. There's always going to be Sagittarians who want to maintain relationships. I mean, I shouldn't make those assumptions. So maybe that is where some of your anxiety is. But it's interesting because the higher message, or the message from the universe, is the Seven of Swords. So it could be saying you may want this situation, but this other person is not being straight with you. This other person is having an affair. This is, I mean, it could be as simple as that. It could be this person is taking advantage of you. This person is stealing resources from you. Money. And, I guess it could be somebody who you are in love with who is a drug addict and taking money from you. It could be something even along those lines. But the point is that your resistance may be creating a lot of the problems that you're experiencing, and that if only you will be able to let go of the need for the situation to be as you want it to be, everything's going to be cool. Actually, the Death card, speaks of transition. So it's talking about things that cannot be prevented. That's what death is. We can't, stop death. We can control a lot of things, but not death, if it's meant to be. So stop resisting, surrender. If I would have picked the Hangman, we would talk about surrender, okay? And you will just instantly, I'm reading this book about healing. I think it's called How to Heal Yourself When No One Else Can. It's really, I've just started reading it, and it's really cool, just in general, for anyone, for anything. And it's like, one of the things she talks about is surrender, because you're trying to fight. And it's like, that's what causes a lot of your problems, is that resistance. The art of allowing, as they say. I think that's a law of attraction or something. What crosses you is the Five of Wands. And if you are, I was going to say, you may know that your spouse or whoever is cheating on you, and that may be one of the things that is creating the anxiety, because you still love them. I could see that. People think, oh, that's so pathetic. How could you love somebody that's cheating on you? Well, that doesn't mean anything, You can still love somebody who's doing something that, hurts you. So the point is that the Five of Wands is about competition. And so if you are tempted to try to fight for your man, just going with the law of averages here, that would be a bad thing, because as the Death card says, this, death is inevitable. So don't try to fight, don't try to compete with somebody for your partner's attention or love or affection or what have you. The other thing too is, don't fight it. Don't get into arguments. Don't duke it out. That is another form of resistance. Actually, my feeling is, let them have them. Let that person have them. They'll save you a lot of sleepless nights. Let them have them. Oh, you want to be with this person? See ya. Okay. Wouldn't want to be ya. It's like that feeling of light. And it doesn't mean that that's how you feel inside, but it's like there's a sense of pride. There is a healthy ego that we have to, we have to have that part of ourselves that, isn't going to, fall apart because somebody else makes a decision where they go with somebody else. I feel like, and as fire signs, we tend to have that innately. So if you've lost that, it's probably because you were with the wrong person all along, and that person chipped away at your confidence with little comments or something like that. And if you were with an air sign, they can really get inside your head because they really have that psychological warfare thing, nailed down tight, So just saying that it really is not worth, sometimes you have to pick your battles. And, I don't know if this is one of them because it looks like pretty overall, in a negative place. Sometimes you may have somebody tell you about their relationship and you hear the person articulate their relationship and you think, this is like the worst relationship. And yet that person still wants to be in the relationship. Well, Sagittarius, this is almost like, I feel like I'm dealing with that person who is like, I really want to be in this relationship, and it really sucks. And it's like, why do you want to? This is an inside job type of deal where you need to get your head on straight. If that's how you feel. What the advice or what is coming in is represented by the Devil card. So when they say that someone says they sold their soul to the devil, what they're saying is that they are going on the dark side. And they're going on the dark side because, why do people sell their soul to the devil? I'm being, metaphorical, but, some people really think they're doing that. They're doing it for power. They're promised worldly power. So that's what the Devil card can represent, is that there is like some kind of control or power issues that are coming to a head. You may have to face this sort of person. Maybe you're going to have to kind of look them square in the eye and see what, where they're at, like where are they coming from? Maybe it's like kind of like, you facing yourself. Maybe the devil is inside of you. I don't mean that you're possessed by Satan. I mean, maybe you have to face your demons. And that means going back. Maybe this is something a long time coming. Maybe you need a healing. Maybe you've been getting involved in bad relationships because one of your parents died when you were a child, maybe, or they left when you were a child, and you always thought it was because of you, and you didn't understand because you were a child, or they got divorced, death, being left, and it really, has always impacted you, and you've never really dealt with it, and you keep trying to get involved in relationships. Relationships can be a diversion. And it ends up being something that you have to finally conquer in order to, if you really want a good relationship, you'll have to deal with it somehow. However, wherever life takes you in order to heal. There are many ways to heal. And when, they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? So keep your heart open for a healing if you need one. The Devil card can also be looking at those things which hold you back, which keep you in bondage. And that's a form of healing as well. Maybe some, and it can just be addictions. If you have any kind of addiction, that can cloud your judgment, okay? So yeah, the outcome is the Judgment card. The Judgment card is about the chickens coming home to roost. But it's cause and effect, and that's all that life is. When people talk about karma may simply be, it's not a punishment from God. It could be cause and effect. You drop a melon from a balcony, it's going to splatter on the sidewalk because of gravity. We have a law of physics called gravity. There's nothing, can you imagine if somebody like blamed God? Oh, you hate watermelon, huh? Because you made it crash on the ground. No, it's because somebody dropped it. And by the way, this works both ways. So if you feel like somebody is abusing you, let's say it's something really bad, and you feel trapped, first of all, understand that you're not alone. You have, you may have spirit guides. You may have departed loved ones. You may have a connection to your higher self that can help you through any hardship. But also understand that other people have to face their actions as well. It may be maddening when you see people getting away with all kinds of stuff, but there's no such thing. There's a worldly, court of justice, and there's a spiritual, the laws of the universe. And those are not anything that you can escape from. And I never wish anybody harm. I always wish them to find themselves, to find the truth of life, wherever it takes them. Because I want people to be happy. And I'm sure that you do too, as a Sagittarian. And it may be that you have to get away from someone. This card too can speak of the law, the legal system. Maybe, maybe some of you have been in divorce proceedings, and during the divorce proceedings, the other person has tormented you. But you're going to have a rebirth. This card is a card of rebirth. If you look at this particular depiction, this is Morgan Greer, by the way. A lot of people ask, or well, not a lot, but some people ask. There's fire. You're coming through the fire. And that's when you purify yourself. Okay? And that, the process can be quite harrowing, but the result can be very satisfying. So I hope you enjoyed this, Sagittarius. I know it wasn't as light and fluffy as perhaps you were looking for, but hopefully you got something from it. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have a great month of March. Bye.